Last week on Season 2. Still don't know why this series doesn't have a name yet. But yeah, Season 2 is what we're going with, for now I guess. Max warps and enters Galavandrieal, falling to his death, only to be saved by a tree. Lost, confused, and nowhere to go, Max wandered around until he was found by a distinguished older gentleman named Rupert. Rupert kindly escorted Max to the nearest town, showed him the local hotspots, as well as filled him in on the troubles that he and his people have been going through since the evil king took over. Before they parted ways, Max finds out that Rupert actually plays a major role as town leader. This naturally is where we left off, with Max gobsmacked. You know, the usual. And this is where we'll be starting episode 3, Settling In. After giving a well-oriented tour in the first town that he has ever stepped foot into, Max remains overwhelmed. Trying to take everything in all at once leaves him overloaded and causing his brain to fry, not knowing where to start. He tries to remember all the key points that Rupert showed and mentioned to him, but he can't. So much was crammed into his small little brain that it left him locked in a state of choice paralysis. I heard that. Oh, bother. The loser that was just fed everything he needs to know, in a world where he knows nothing about, can't make a choice. It would be in your best interest to just stay in town and drink your troubles away. Hey, I'm gonna do something about it. I just need time to process it. Well, you're not going to be getting anything done standing there like a mindless ape. Oh yeah? Watch me. And just like that, Max snaps out of his state of slop and spends the remainder of the day walking around Tavernsburg. He gets acquainted with the locals, the other hotspots in town, and all the taverns, pubs, and bars that make this town live up to its name. While he's sightseeing, the sun begins to set, and Max grows tired, hungry, and thirsty. He looks around to find himself fancying a nice ale to quench his thirst. He looks around but finds nothing to his liking. All the pubs and bars seem to have something in common. Ye old tavern, ye tavern of old, ye old wandering tavern. You get the picture. You can't just put ye old in front of everything and expect people to think, oh, fancy, or that sure does sound old-timey. Come on, show some creativity. Just then, a small commotion is heard from behind Max. It catches his attention as he turns to see a drunk getting tossed out of a tavern. He walks up to the tavern, completely ignoring the helpless drunk on the floor babbling like a toddler, stepping over him, and looks at the name of the tavern, smiles, and walks in. He steps into a charming little tavern with a few people around chatting with each other, eating, drinking, and some dancing and singing. Max smiles, feeling like he's at home, and makes his way over to the bar. He plops onto the stool and waits for the bartender to serve him. Hello there, mate. What do you want? Oh, sorry. I don't have any, gold on me. I'm new in town. The bartender fills a mug with his house ale and slides it towards Max. New in town, eh? First one's on the house. Enjoy, newcomer. My name is Earl. What is yours? Max Dougal. Max Dougal? Never heard that name in these parts. You're not from around here? No, I'm from elsewhere. Oh, an outlander. My first one. Just for that, you get a free refill. You let me know how you like that, and when you need a refill. Thanks. Max grabs the mug and takes a sip of the first ale outside of his world. The mug tilts to his lips as he washes his thirst away with something divine. The mug remains tilted and steadily rises as Max chugs the ale. After finishing it, he slams the mug down and lets out a satisfying sound that all bartenders love to hear. That's delicious! Another, please! Coming right up. The bartender smiles, and a few of the locals turn their attention to Max after he slammed the mug down so aggressively. After a few moments, Max's face turns red as he starts to feel the effects of the ale. Tell me, barkeep, what made you pick the name Caught Between for this fine establishment? It's rather unusual. Simple, really. The pub next to me is called Ye Old Rock, and the pub on the other side of me is called Ye Old Hard Place. So I thought it would be amusing if I named my tavern Caught Between, and being caught between a rock and a hard place. It also came to me from a previous situation where I was just in such a predicament. That's how I lost my foot. Good times. But enough about me. Tell me about you, Max. How did you make it all the way out here to Tavernsburg? We're pretty isolated from most of the towns and the villages, you know. Oh, I fell out of a portal, landed in a tree, and then was saved by Rupert, who guided me and showed me throughout town. You know. By my beard! You were saved by Rupert? You have got to be the luckiest man I've ever heard. Why does everyone keep saying that? Is walking outside this town really that dangerous? Yes, it is. With the new Mad King in power, nowhere outside of a town or village is safe. Creatures go blindly crazy and attack unprovoked. Thieves, highwaymen, crooks, killers, slavers, and the king's guards will steal and kill on sight without hesitation. Count your blessings, Max. Here, have another one on the house, for your luck and bravery alone. Oh, thanks. I'll be sure to pay you for these in a little while. You can count on that. I believe you will. You seem like a chip off the old block. For now, you drink free as a welcoming gesture and faith in a good man. Cheers to that, Earl. As the night went on, Max drank some more, and more, and more. So much so that he doesn't remember anything when he came to the next morning with a wicked hangover. He sits up and finds himself laying in a pile of mud. Surrounding him is a worn-out fence with bundles of hay all around him. He looks to his left to see a large, fat snout of a pig snorting in his face. The revolting smell has him pause for a second as he feels a twist in his bowels. He pats the pig, then raises a finger to it, then turns to throw up. After Max had recovered from throwing up, the pig sees the slop and gets excited and pushes him and runs over to start eating it like it's its morning breakfast. Visibly disgusted, Max gets up and leaves, wobbling his way out of the pig pen. He makes it to the fence and tries to climb over it, but flips over and lands on his back, only to throw up some more, like a disgusting volcano. After his embarrassing display, Max gets up and goes to a nearby water trough and cleans himself up. When he is all cleaned, he looks around to see where he is. He looks up to see a large windmill and goes around the other side of it to see where he is in relation to Tavernsburg. When he comes to a clearing, he notices several other windmill farms are around him, and in the distance is a very noticeable town. With nowhere to go, Max makes his way to the distant town. After several hours of walking in the blazing heat with no water and still hungover, Max makes it back to Tavernsburg, where he is greeted by Rupert once again. Had fun on your night in town? Max smiles to see Rupert again and tries to go for a handshake or a hug. Who knows, given his belligerent state. However, Rupert steps aside and watches Max fall over and throw up again. He laughs at Max and helps him up shortly after. I knew this would happen. Most folks usually get drunk when they first come here. Come on, Max. Let's get you in a bath and a bed so you can sleep this off.
I'm sorry, Dad. I promise I won't drink again. Never.
Rupert chuckles as Max wears the effects of the ale off. He carries Max to the central office, as well as prepares some food, water, and a bed. For the next 36 hours, Max slept peacefully in a small but comforting bed. He wakes up early the following morning to be greeted by Rupert, who is seated next to him cutting an apple. Ah, you're finally awake. You were out for a while. Max slowly sits up in his bed, but remains quiet. He is embarrassed after everything that just transpired over the past 48 hours. Rupert, I'm sorry. What for? Well, for starters, you helped guide me out of danger to this town of yours. You also informed me of the troubles that this land is going through, and I acted like a child. Then you took the time to show me where and how I can grow throughout this town. And how did I act? Like an idiot that got drunk and took advantage of your hospitality. The room remains quiet after Max grieves his misdeeds over the last 2 days. He feels ashamed and guilty for being a pest rather than a guest. Rupert laughs out, leaving Max confused, as well as me, and kind of worried. Why is that so funny? Oh, Max, my boy, you are something else. You really think you're the first person to come to Tavernsburg, get the full accommodating, hospitable greeting, and a tour only to get blackout drunk on the same evening? Everyone's done that here. Why do you think the bartender gave you so many free drinks? It's a time-honored tradition that we hold here in town. Trust me, you have done nothing wrong. In fact, you are one of the few to do something right or different. You woke up and felt remorse for your poor behavior and immediately apologized for it. Most are too prideful to admit their faults and would rather act as if what they did was nothing wrong than go about their own business. You, on the other hand, you know what you did. You reflected, regretted, and apologized. You are a unique individual, Max Dougal, and I can tell that meeting you by that lonely tree 2 days ago was no mere coincidence. I would call it fate. Sure, let's call it fate. After a little chatting with Rupert, Max gets up and he and Rupert leave for the main entrance of the central office. The two shake hands like old friends and they part ways once more. Now remember, Max, your first place should be the Adventurers Guild. Go there first and speak with the leader, Yorick. He'll point you in the right direction. Take care, my friend. Max smiles and waves off Rupert and makes his way to the Adventurers Guild. Shortly after walking there, Max comes across the building and enters through its hulking metal doors. He enters to see a front desk with an agent or secretary of some sort. Hello, and welcome to the Adventurers Guild. My name is Athena. How can I help you today? Hello there, Athena. My name is Max Dougal. I was sent here by Rupert to have a word with the leader of this guild, if that's possible. Of course. Give me a minute to summon the leader. Max waits as Athena, the secretary, steps back to summon the master. A few moments later, she pulls the curtain up, unveiling a large golden horn. Oh my god. Max is flabbergasted. Just then, Athena goes to the mouthpiece, cleans it a little bit, takes a deep breath, and blows on the horn. It blasts out far and wide, as well as loud, causing Max to roll back and feel its effects. When it finishes, he gets up looking all scuffed. Luckily, Max remained inside the building, which prompted Athena to use the actual summon, which is a small triangle ting. Max gets up and pats himself off, but stops midway, as he hears the sound of someone hulking walking towards him. Athena steps aside and pulls back a small curtain to give a minor ceremonial entrance for Max to see who it is. As the footsteps get louder, Max begins to get nervous. He begins to sweat, tremble a little, and gets queasy. Maybe he's gonna throw up again.
Oh, God. My stomach.
Then from behind the curtain steps out a big, hulking man. He says nothing as he looks at Athena, who returns a cheerful smile and a forward head nod. He then looks at Max, who is quivering in his shoes in the middle of the entrance. The hulking man smirks and saunters his way over to Max, and when he approaches him, he says nothing. He just looks down at Max and sizes him up. Max just looks up at him and gulps what little saliva he has. Just then, the tall man sticks his hand out into Max. Max flinches and closes his eyes for a second, but when he realizes nothing happens, he opens them to see a gesture for a handshake. Hi there, name's Yorick, and welcome to my Adventurers Guild. Well, I guess this episode's continuing in the last, with an introduction of some sort of a character. Ooh. That's it for this episode, folks. I hope you enjoyed. Stick around for the next one, which I hope will be better. But, who am I to say? I'm just the narrator. Take care.